Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
Yeah, DP lost like, beef. Yeah.
Right. When he's wondering, he's like, I
Patty to patty.
He won style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro.
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate in a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great Bodkins Show. Welcome to another weekly dump. That's right. The Bodkins Show presents the weekly dump. I am your host, Bodkins, and we had our first weekly dump last week, and it was a great show. And who else again joining me every Sunday morning will be coming to you. Then my guy Johnny Cruz. Johnny, it is another week has passed in sports life. Man, how you been, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here on the weekly dump every Sunday morning, like you mentioned. So look forward to this, kind of get all your shit out of your system. Saying not just what you got to say, but anything that's been going on during the week, not just in sports, but we talked about entertainment, movies, TV show, music. We're gonna be doing all that. So looking forward to this, man. The first one was cool. I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I think I could have came up with some better jams than I did last week, but I was concentrating too much on the whole summer aspect of it instead of just thinking of some hot shit that I could jam to.
Yeah.
So even wifey was gigging on me a little bit about that when I told her your list. So definitely looking to step it up with the top 5 things I miss.
Hey, she said Bodkins is allowed to come to the barbecue and be the DJ. Get off the ox.
Yeah. She said basically. She said you can have a request or two and that's it.
Hey. I got it. Speaking of you mentioned speaking of some shit, and we last week at the beginning of the week, your old head coach and your current quarterback, Tua kind of went in on B-Flow, kind of saying, hey man, like it's night and day. Like B-Flow told me I was pretty much dog shit, day in and day out, where Mike McDaniel is not saying that I'm dog shit and I can do all this stuff, but the B-Flow kind of came out on his own and he had 2 defensive players pretty much like, step to me type deal, and had some people talk good about him. Your thoughts on this whole situation? Because we are 3 years removed here and they still at each other.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of it. You mentioned it right there, is that it's been 3 years. So part of me is like, all right, let's kind of move on already with this. But at the same time, I understand Tua basically answered the question. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people need to understand. It's not like Tua just brought it up out of the blue. He was asked the question, so he feels, I guess, confident in himself enough or comfortable enough. I mean, once you get, 167 million guaranteed, you can feel pretty comfortable. But felt comfortable enough to discuss
he got
the
that
matter.
Bag. He got
that bag. He finally got the support from the franchise itself. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't just B-Flow. Yes, B-Flow apparently. You know what I'm saying? Like I was actually a fan of his. I thought he did an incredible job, especially that first season when we were, quote unquote, tanking, and somehow with a bunch of guys that we kept signing off waivers each week, found a way to win 5 games. When the media was talking about we were endangering players and all that type of shit that we were doing, you know what I'm saying? So I was encouraged by that. I was excited about that. X's and O's, defensive mind. He's a brilliant defensive coordinator, defensive mind.
And
I didn't realize he came from New England.
Yeah,
and he spent his entire career with New England.
Yeah.
So so you knew that going in. You knew he was going to be kind of a hardcore, old school type. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. and it was fine. I didn't realize he was going to this extreme. I knew he didn't want to draft Tua. You know what I'm saying? He wanted Jordan Love is actually who he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to take a tackle with the 5th pick and then take Jordan Love with the 18th pick. And I was actually of that same mindset during that draft. You know what I'm saying? And my whole shit was just like, well, whoever you pick, just kind of be secure who you're picking, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you support him or whatever, whether it be Tua, Justin Herbert, or Jordan Love. But I was leaning more towards Jordan Love because I had seen some highlights of him, and his off script shit is what I really like about Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? He's got the arm strength or whatever. So, but I didn't realize that just because you didn't get the quarterback you wanted, which again, if you're the head coach, you would think the organization would be on the same page as you. So I can understand hard coaching, and that's the difference that it gets frustrating. You hear people saying, "Oh, well, he can't deal with hard coaching." I mean, he was coached by Nick Saban.
Yeah, exactly.
He's Samoan. If you see the videos of his dad when he was raising him, I mean, he's used to hard coaching it, you know what I'm saying, and tough love and all that shit. This was a little more personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brian Flores was like sending him texts and shit. Don't blow it. You suck. You know what I'm saying? You don't belong here. Like, that's a little bit extreme if you're texting homeboy while he home and shit, talking about just thinking about it, talking about, yo, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a bit much from your head coach.
Here's my daily reminder: send to a text, tell him he sucks.
Right. It's like he's got alarms set to remind him that all right, it's my time to send to a fucking text about how shitty he is.
Well, this is Coach B-Flow. Just go fuck yourself today, will you? And,
right. So there was a big report that Tennessee game towards the end of the season in the second year that it was raining, and Tennessee kind of ran all over us or whatever. And Tua didn't play well in that game, and at halftime there was this big outburst. I guess that's when Tua finally told him that he can't fucking treat people this way or whatever. It was a big blow up there, so you kind of saw the beginning of the end there, but apparently it was happening the entire time. It got to the point where Brian Flores wasn't even communicating with his other coaches and stuff. So I mean, he definitely made some mistakes as far as how he handled certain situations. Clearly, it was his first time being a head coach. I hope he gets an opportunity. I mean, he did take accountability for it. He didn't straight out come out and be like, yeah, I did all that shit, but he didn't deny it. And he said that, he wishes the best for Tua, whether you believe that or not, whatever. But he mentioned, having to grow from this, learn from his mistakes, and hopefully be better the next time. And, ideally that's what you want when somebody does something like this. So hopefully we're past it, and now we can start talking about real football games, especially after that shitty ass preseason game against Tampa. I'm ready for the regular season to start.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't think B-Flow has faced Tua yet, but it'll be interesting how that interaction, if they ever do and when they do, I'm sure they will eventually somewhere down the line. I don't know if you guys play the Vikings or not this year.
I don't believe we do.
I know I know you guys play the Packers. I know you guys play us. We talked about it on Thanksgiving Day, but I think
that was more of a second place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Second place thing. That's why we're playing each other on Thanksgiving. But no, he hasn't gone up against B-Flow yet, but so that'll be interesting. And unfortunately it'll be brought up again when that shit comes. You're saying, so hopefully this is something that you're saying Tua got it out of his system, you know what I'm saying? He finally said it formally, like, out in the public or whatever. So hopefully he's got it out of his system, and like you said, it's been 3 years, so hopefully everybody can kind of move on from this. But my whole shit is like, don't talk about the kid can't take tough coaching. There's a difference between tough coaching and like personal attacks.
Literally.
That's a bit much. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually enjoyed tough coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like I had, I obviously didn't get to the success that they did, but you know what I'm saying? All through because I played sports my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I always enjoyed the coach that was tougher on me to push me to, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But
it makes you not just a better player, it makes you a better human. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
right. But there's a difference between tough coaching or whatever and like going at and personally attacking somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in that. So
I had a tough coach too in high school, basketball coach. He had a revolving door. You know what I mean? Just and if you stuck it out, you knew he was making you a better person, better player. You know what I mean? And some guys couldn't handle it, and they would just fucking quit because he was up and down too a little. Maybe he was a little bipolar or whatever at times, but he would come back if he made a mistake. He would come apologize to you. You know what I mean? As well. But like my son is now playing for him, and I'm like, yo, you just got to like ride the waves, and like, you know, it's gonna be okay, and just tough it out. You know what I mean? Like it's for the better.
Right. I mean, and you could be a tough coach, but at the same time, like you can kind of be support. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. That's the way coaching is for us. And good coaches are tough. Coaches are they're there for they're tough on you, but then they're gonna pick you up too.
Right.
At the same time. Imagine, you know, it's always funny. Like if you go to the work today and your boss just fucking keeps ragging on you. Imagine you every day you was waking up and your boss texting you telling you ain't shit. You know what I mean? Don't fuck this up today. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
it's gonna get to you. It's gonna get to you.
Everybody be like, "Yo, fuck that guy." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I gotta either get up out of here, or like me and this guy are literally.
Well, I'm about to say, we need to meet up after work. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to go at it.
I ain't fucking shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, only in sports do it. And then people, he can't handle tough coach. Yo, you go to the job. Like, imagine your boss. Telling you, you know what I mean? And like you said, this guy played for Nick Saban. You know what I mean? Like there's probably not very many tougher coaches than Nick Saban. And B-Flow, I think it seems like the problem with guys who off that Belichick tree, they want to go implement the Patriot way wherever. The problem is you don't have the rings or the credentials to be Bill Belichick.
Or Tom Brady.
Yeah, or Tom Brady. You know, and I think B-Flow was also under pressure. Remember, too, there was like the whole Sean Payton, Tom Brady type thing. That was kind of all happening around that same time frame. Right. So he probably like shit, man. And then the Fitzpatrick deal, you know, he was kind of having his way as well. So it's not easy, but obviously, you know what I mean. Like,
well, and if you remember, like the whole thing was he was supposed to tank. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting this opportunity, your first time opportunity as a head coach, and basically your organization, your organization is telling you, all right, well, we need you to lose. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying, like, that's not in your DNA.
That's not nobody's DNA.
Right. You know? So I mean, again, like, I can understand both sides. Like I said, I enjoyed Brian Flores. I was excited about him. I thought he did a good job that the first couple years. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, the whole way he handled Tua and the whole situation was obviously wrong, but I was excited about his potential to develop as a good head coach. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's just some stuff he needs to learn, and you know what I'm saying? Like we both said, you can be hard, but just because you don't like a certain player, but especially your quarterback, you know what I'm saying? You may not like the quarterback, but
one relationship you gotta have.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's when you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? And it's similar again to like work, where sometimes you don't like the people that you got to work with, but at the same time, you got to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? So you do what you got to do to get through the shit. But you know what I'm saying? So I hear you on that one. So like I said, it was just frustrating to hear people say, "Oh, he can't take tough coaching." It's not that, bro. There's a difference between tough coaching and what.
Going to work every day and getting called.
Nah, I wouldn't be able to last it. You know what I'm saying? I'd have to find something else. So like we said, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to. We get at 5:05. I'll meet you outside at 5:05, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real.
We'll see who ain't shit, you know.
But no, like I said, I'm glad that Tua got out of his system. Now we can focus hopefully on this season and what he's doing with this coaching staff and this head coach, who's obviously the polar opposite of what Brian Flores is or whatever. So I'm looking forward to the season starting and we can get past this or whatever.
I think and I've told you this before to kind of wrap it up. I think that they do need. I think B-Flow is this way, McDaniel's this way. McDaniel probably needs to come a little bit this way, or he might be out the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're gonna reach a point where you're saying the good guy shit runs out. You know what I'm saying? Like guys are gonna get tired of hearing that same shit unless the success continues. You know what I'm saying? But from what I hear, like behind the scenes, like he just don't do it in public. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, I guess he be getting on guys apparently, you know, saying behind the scenes and stuff like that. So maybe he does have that in him, just obviously not to the extreme of Brian Flores or somebody like that. But you do have to have like a happy medium of both. You know what I'm saying? You have to be hard on you know what I'm saying, to get the best out of them, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, you got to know which guys need the extra support, extra pat on the back, and which guys can take the harsher criticism. So there's a fine line you got to deal with, you know what I'm saying? And for all the people that say, "Oh, well, Bill Parcells and this like that," yeah, they were
That was
hard on people, but do you see how they are with their play? Like they didn't do that shit to Lawrence Taylor. Like they talk about how he used to yell at Phil Simms. Yeah, he yelled at Phil Simms or whatever, but he didn't yell at LT like that. You know what I'm saying? It's, like you treat people differently, you know what I'm saying, depending on who they are. But the most important part is like building that relationship and trust with your players. You know what I'm saying? Like the players got to trust that you are ultimately trying to put them in the best position to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So you got to build a relationship. That's part of coaching. That's part of teaching. So that's something that I hope Brian Flores does get another opportunity. I hope he does get better because, like I said, I was a fan. I appreciate you saying he's from New York, Brooklyn kid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's got all my support. I hope, you know what I'm saying. I hope he learned from that situation and he gets better, and hopefully he gets another opportunity. Let's see what happens because there's still the whole lawsuit thing against the NFL. So we don't know what's going to happen with that, but I wish him the best. Like I said, I just hope Tua can get past this now. You know what I'm saying? He answered the question. He got out of his system. Now let's just keep it moving and get ready for the season.
Yeah. Speaking of getting ready for the season, there's a couple guys that in teams that aren't ready for the season. I mean, these wide receiver deals, we went all through camp, all through now preseason. We are a week and a little over a week away from week 1, and Brandon Ayuk still don't have a deal. He's still holding out. CeeDee Lamb still holding out. Doesn't have a deal. Jamar Chase doesn't have a deal. And it seems like, at least with Chase, there is no negotiations in whether or not they even close, because the Bengals are saying we still got him for 2 more years. Where Ayuk and Lamb are still holding out. Like there's none of these. To me, I'm still surprised. Number one, none of these deals have gotten done yet. Maybe they will get hashed out in this next week of kind of dead period. But man, all three of these teams need those guys on the field, especially the Bengals and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. I'm a bit surprised that it's taken this long and that deals still haven't gotten done. I'm not as surprised with the CeeDee Lamb thing because it's Jerry Jones, and you know what I'm saying, like you never know what the hell Dallas is doing or whatever. I'm surprised Cincinnati, even though they've always had the reputation of being kind of cheap. I'm surprised that they didn't take care of Jamar Chase, but again, like you mentioned, they do still have 2 more years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not like he's playing on his 5th-year option or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I get that one. The Brandon Ayuk thing, like that, he is going into his 5th year. So I understand the urgency there, but they could be seeing it as, you know what I'm saying, is he really that good, or is he a product of our system? You know what I'm saying? Like you get a lot of that debate with this whole Shanahan.
With all the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
Other than like CMC, right? Like CMC. Right.
Yeah, I mean, CMC, you knew he was a stud, you know what I'm saying, from Stanford. You know what I'm saying? You knew he was a baller. You know what I'm saying? But you hear a lot of that with the whole Shanahan tree, Sean McVay, Mike McDaniel. Like, is it the system or is it the players in the system? Can you just put anybody in it? You know what I'm saying? Because Debo was that dude for the longest time. Brandon Ayuk, in my opinion, is the better wide receiver. Yeah. Debo is the better
athlete
and playmaker or whatever.
The better football player, overall football player. He can do some more stuff, but as far as running routes and being a legit wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk's better.
Right. Now, is he $30 million a year better? I don't know. That's you know what I'm saying. That's the situation, the issue that they're having. Jamar Chase, without a doubt, to me, is worth that money. Like you got to get that deal done with him.
And that's Burrow's guy. That's Joe Burrow. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So it'll be. Yeah,
you drafted him number 3 overall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Brandon Ayuk was a 1st-round pick, but he was 20-something. You know what I'm saying? CeeDee Lamb, he was he was number 17 because I thought the Dolphins were going to grab him at 18, but Dallas did. But Jamar Chase was the number 3 pick overall, and he's been a stud since he got in the league. So I don't know what Cincinnati. That one is kind of curious, but again, he still has 2 more years. The other 2,
I think Ocho Cinco was saying that So Adam Schefter. So this is word of word. I was watching Schefter on Pat McAfee, and he said, and I think I had read that Ocho had kind of said too, Chase could sit out multiple games during the regular season. Remember, this is a guy who didn't play his senior year, the COVID year, sat out after they won the national title and still was drafted number 3rd and still put up great numbers. So and they could get a deal done today. I don't know if he's wanting to become like the highest paid wide receiver, if he wants like Justin Jefferson money to kind of reset the market. Then the Bengals, you're tied up with Burrow and Justin Jefferson, but that's also how you got the success that you are not Justin Jefferson, but Chase. That's also how you got to the success. Like that's how you got to the Super Bowl, and you've been to multiple AFC Championship games with these dudes. Like you got to take care of. I feel like you got to take care of him. Like maybe T. Higgins, I think, is gone obviously after this year, but you got to take care of Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's of these three, he's definitely the one. I think he's the best one out of the three. First of all,
yeah.
I think he's the most important to his team. I understand the CeeDee Lamb thing. I mean, that's just a whole dysfunctional thing. Sorry, Allen. That's just a whole dysfunctional thing there that's going on in Dallas. So I don't know what Jerry Jones is thinking there. Should CeeDee Lamb be the highest paid wide receiver? No, but again, it's similar to like the quarterback debate and whether or not guys are worth their money. It's the market is the market. Timing is timing.
Yeah.
But I don't. Chase is one of those, like, especially since you franchise tag T. Higgins. So you basically are saying we're not going to pay him. You know what I'm saying? After this year, he's probably gone. So do you want to put yourselves in this? Do you want to have a dysfunctional Jamar Chase when this is a big season for them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrow coming off of the injury. He's missed 2 out of his first 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is a season for them that they, there's some expectations for Cincinnati to do something this year. Do you want to have a dysfunctional wide receiver in the game? Is he? I don't even know. I mean, there haven't been any reports. I mean, is he holding out, Chase? Because I don't even know.
Yeah. No, he hasn't even, like,
he hasn't reported at all?
No, I don't think so. He hasn't. Like, I don't know if he's not. I can't remember if he's in camp, and but he hasn't performed any. He is not on the field.
Okay. See, so I mean, I know CeeDee Lamb ain't even showing up.
I think Chase.
And I think Brandon Ayuk is the same thing too. Or actually, Ayuk is there. He's a hold in or whatever the hell they call it, because he's got back problems or some shit. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. One of those things.
But that's smarter. It's smarter to hold in because they can't find you.
Yeah, so because you still get your money. You know what I'm saying? Right. I hear you on that one, but no, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because I mean we're literally we're a week away this Thursday from week 1. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if shit gets done this week. You know what I'm saying? But
here's
the one I would be worried about is the CeeDee Lamb one. Like, is Jerry Jones actually going to fold and give him the money? I heard a report where Jerry Jones basically admitted, you know what I'm saying, to somebody, which again, this is one of those he said things or whatever. But he essentially said, I don't see us winning the Super Bowl, so it's like I don't want to pay if we're not going to win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Which, okay, but bro, you put this team together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Here's what they should have done. All three of these, like, if I was the Bengals, and the Cowboys, really, before the Justin Jefferson deal got done, they should have already got those deals done. You know what I mean? Because then you let Jefferson reset the market. Well, everybody's already locked in. I already have Chase locked in. I already have Lamb locked in. I'm gonna get this deal done now because I know Justin Jefferson's about to be the highest paid wide receiver, and then my guy's probably gonna want to be the next highest paid wide receiver. So guess what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna set the market for a month and a half, and then once the Jefferson deal gets done, he's the new market, and I got my guy locked in, and he's not the highest paid at that point in time.
Yeah, that's ideally what you would think these teams would want to do, because everybody had to know that Justin Jefferson was going to be is that dude that's going to get the highest contract. You know what I'm saying? So make sure your guy's locked in. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was happy as shit that Miami took care of Waddle before there was any of this stuff. I wish they would have taken care of Tua a little earlier, just to but again, he still wound up getting priced like right in between a couple guys. So it's not like he reset the market, but I mean, ideally, when you have a stud player, you know what I'm saying, and you're gonna have to pay him, you want to be one of the first ones to do it, so that you're not, because the price is just going to continue to get higher. And like Craig mentions here, Bengals will wait till next year to pay Chase. The price is going to be higher. I mean, so that could be something that
yesterday's price. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I mean, is Cincinnati like basically trying to tell Chase this? Like, they could be telling them this, bro. Like, we got 2 more years. We'll talk about it next year, and then you can reset the market. You know what I'm saying?
He can reset the market now, but the thing of it is like let's just say he balls out in 2 years. You know what I mean? The next 2 years. But also, to his credit, he could be saying, "What if I get hurt?" You know what I mean? Like you
Right,
only
yeah.
really got one time to one or two times to really make real money. And I know they're making real money now.
Generational type money.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that one. I mean, there's always the fear of injury. So I understand you know, and again, like, are you really gonna take their word for it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's similar to like what Miami dealt with Christian Wilkins. You know what I'm saying? They were telling him, yeah, we're gonna take care of you,
And then take care of him.
right, because he wanted to reset the mark, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, bro, you ain't that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, props to, you know what I'm saying? Best of luck to the Raiders for giving him $28 million, but nah, he ain't no $28 million guy. You know what I'm saying? I love Christian Wilkins, but he just wasn't that dude.
And
Jamar Chase is that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Trent Williams, who I think is probably more important than Brandon Ayuk, he's still sitting out. And I think what they're waiting to do for him is they got to get the Ayuk deal done, and then but Trent Williams is outside of CMC is probably the most important player on the 49ers. That guy is the best tackle in all of football. So
I completely agree. And him is a little bit different because he's a vet. So this might have been he don't want to participate in training camp anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So okay, hold in or whatever, and then I'm sure they'll maneuver the money around to give him more money up front or something like that, because he already has a contract. So they may just have to adjust numbers, you know what I'm saying, to give him more money up front or whatever, just to make him happy. But yeah, you definitely want to take care of your left tackle. He's the best left tackle in football. So you definitely need to take care of him, especially, you know, you got everybody. You're able to pay players because you got Brock Purdy on the cheap. You know what I'm saying? So you need to take care. This is the time to take care of a Trent Williams. That's why I'm surprised he's gone this long with the whole Brandon Ayuk thing. Now, if he's wanting Justin Jefferson money, then I could understand San Francisco being like, nah, bro.
I would
good, but you ain't
already to Pittsburgh at this point in time.
Right.
I don't know what he's asking for.
Right. And that's
at the market. Like, nah, man. Like,
that's the thing.
Is, you know,
I mean, Pittsburgh could be like, yo, well, let's just wait for them to get that desperate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we get them for a 3 instead of a 2 or a 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they are asking for a 2, the 49ers are.
Yeah.
Or maybe
the thing is, it's a 2. It's a 2, and then you got to give him. Then you got to pay him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just a 2. Yeah, it's a second round pick, but then you got to turn around and give him $30 million a year. So and Pittsburgh ain't known to pay their wide receivers like that, and they always develop wide receivers. Pittsburgh, it seems like.
Yeah.
They always get second and third round picks that wind up being studs, and then they let them go. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to pay them,
they just recoup the next guy. Yeah.
Right. So but Trent Williams is a must, I think.
I do got to dump this out off my chest real quick. How about this, Johnny? The flag football quarterback, Jarrell Bouchette, is saying he's better than Patrick fucking Mahomes. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I mean, the fact that you're trying to tell me that you're better than a 3-time Super Bowl MVP, a 3-time, 2-time MVP, one of the best quarterbacks the world has ever seen, and you're playing flag fucking football, and you're saying I'm better than Patrick Mahomes. Hey, man, maybe you got to wake up every day and think that you're the best while you're on the field, but don't be spilling that shit out in the public, man.
There's one thing to be confident in yourself, and then there's another thing to be delusional. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing, and I'm glad that you brought this up, and I'm glad that you said that you needed to get this shit off your chest, because yes, this is something that has kind of irked me for a long time, and it's gonna partly this, and then the next situation that we're gonna talk about. But it seems like it's the mindset, and forgive me for all you young generations out there right now, but it just seems like that's just generation's mentality. Yeah, like they don't care about history. You know what I'm saying? Like, history doesn't matter. What happened before them does not mean shit to them at all. Yeah. So what you've done before doesn't matter. So the fact that you're talking about you're playing flat, and then to say that you got a higher IQ than Patrick Mahomes as far as a football IQ, come on, bro. You're playing flag football. There's no threat of getting knocked the fuck out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So you could do all these moves. I mean, we were all good when we played, tag and touch football, 2-hand touch and shit like that. Yeah, but when you threw pads on and you had to worry about that's a different game. Not everybody's built to play football. You're saying some of the toughest dudes that that I knew that whatever, you put on some pads and they start getting hit, they're like, nah, I don't want to play. You're saying that ain't for me. So that's just one of them asinine type of comments from unfortunately, like a lot of those type of comments are being made. Again, it seems like they don't pay attention to history, and then they just like the lack of respect to just come out your face and say that I think I'm better than Patrick Mahomes. Come on.
Yeah, even if you had the mental acumen, right? Like is what he's saying too, I guess.
Right.
Like you would be on a practice squad, you would be a backup, would be something. And I get maybe his size is a little bit, but shit, Drew Brees wasn't the biggest guy, and he was ended up being a Hall of Famer. Like
absolutely.
So don't tell me, like, to say you're better than Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Just you could have said like I'm the Patrick Mahomes flag football.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
That would have been well received.
Like,
if you would have said,
yeah,
if you would have said I'm the Patrick Mahomes of flag football, then props. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you think you're that good or whatever. But to say I think I'm better than Patrick Mahomes, I think I have because of my football IQ. Bro, you're playing flag football. Bro.
That for obviously makes me think you don't have IQ or self-awareness.
Right. Yeah, you may have a high football IQ, but you're ignorant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you mentioned the next. This ties right into it. And me and you are both big fans of Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
I feel like, but this man said MJ was the only one who had skill back in the day. Are you gonna tell me Dominique Wilkins, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson ain't have no motherfucking skill, Ant? Like, though Larry was not athletic. He had skill. Like, that's what he had work ethic and skill. And Magic Johnson to this day is one of the most skilled players to ever step onto a basketball court. And you're trying to tell me he didn't have skill?
Yeah, again, that's one of the worst, most ignorant statements that I've ever heard a player say. And like you mentioned it, we're both Anthony Edwards fans. I love his mentality on the court. Like, he's trying to destroy his opponent. So we like that about him. But bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro, to say that, and then he starts off the comment saying, you know, they say that it was tougher back then, but I haven't watched, so I don't know enough, you know what I'm saying, to speak on it. And then you speak on it. You know what I'm saying? So like right there, it's like, bro, like just shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? But again, it goes right back to the point I was saying about the fact that like it seems like this generation don't give a shit about the history of the game and the players that came before them. And actually, you know what I'm saying, doing your research, watching film and stuff like that. But to say that Michael Jordan was the only one that had skill, like it's the ultimate disrespect to like every player that came before you, bro. And it's an ignorant statement, bro, because to get to that level, you have to have skill.
No matter what decade.
Right,
like,
right. And you mentioned some of the greatest one, Kevin McHale with some of his, you know what I'm saying, with his post play. You telling me Akeem Olajuwon didn't have any skill? You know what I'm saying? Like Tim Duncan, who was, you know what I'm saying, like one of the most fundamental players ever.
Trying to say guys didn't have skill. Like, I think.
Well, no, but he basically said until now, because he said Michael Jordan's the only one that had skill. And that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you just sound so ignorant, bro. It's like, please just stop talking. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those, please just stop talking. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be that guy to say it, but please just shut up and dribble. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that guy, but please, it's like, that's one of those, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't want to say shut up and dribble, but get some knowledge. You know what I mean?
Right,
Get some knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, do yourself a favor and go watch some highlights of these guys.
And study some tape and watch some film, or, you know what I'm saying, before you make a comment like that.
Yeah.
And it's similar to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is coming off of JJ Redick with his stupid shit that he said on ESPN about, oh, well, he was playing against plumbers and stuff like that. Like, bro, you're saying, like, again, they don't care about the history, and they have no problem being completely disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, to past grace and stuff like that. Like, it's weird about this generation's mentality to just like not give two shits about doing that. You know what I'm saying? They'll just say whatever about, you know. So it's just it's weird that this is, you know what I'm saying, the mentality nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So you hope that he'll, you know what I'm saying, watch some tape, you know what I'm saying, watch some film and stuff like that. And I doubt that he'll take that comment back, because again, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They just say whatever they're gonna say, and it is what it is. But I would hope somebody in his circle or you know what I'm saying, somebody could be like, bro, like, you need to watch these guys here before you say some shit like that. But yeah, man, like that coming on the heels, you know what I'm saying, coming right before the knucklehead talking about him being a flag football player is better than Patrick Mahomes. It's just like, it makes you worry about this generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
It's like I said, it's okay to have confidence, but like you can't.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to be a realist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's crazy for for somebody that you can tell the NBA would love to make and like the face of the. You can't make somebody who has that thought process the face of the league.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have the face of your league totally disregard the prior generations of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not a good look.
Yeah, and Jordan always said like I'm not the greatest of all time because you know.
Nah, he never liked making that comparison.
Yeah, like I didn't play against these guys. I didn't
Right.
play against Wilt. I didn't play against
Right.
What's his name from the Lakers? The white dude. I can't think of his name. Jerry West.
Jerry West. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like I never played against those guys. Like I didn't play. You know, he's
Right.
like I'm the best. I think he's probably said I'm the best player of my generation. But like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what guys have to just say, like, hey, I'm gonna try to be
Right.
the best of my time. Like, we all was like, wow, with Kobe, not because like we never saw somebody like Kobe. Shit, he was a spitting image of Michael Jordan because we didn't think that we would ever see somebody like Jordan. The game is gonna progress.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like in life, like we are probably a lot of times, you know what I mean, bigger, stronger, faster, at least smarter than what we were. You know what I mean? At least athletes for sure are bigger, stronger, faster because we learn things as we grow. So there's going to be a guy that's 20 years from now that's better than, you know, LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Because the more we develop as society,
evolve. We're evolving.
Yes. So Jordan was out there smoking cigars and drinking beers. You know what I mean? Like imagine if he had today's technology to take care of himself. What the fuck?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's something that I bring up a lot with the whole GOAT debate with him and LeBron, which you know how I feel about that shit. That shouldn't even be a debate. Like you haven't even passed Kobe yet to get to Jordan's level, LeBron. But it is true. Like Jordan didn't have this technology of now. He didn't have load management. Like there was no such thing. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys played every day. They took pride in playing every game. But yeah, naturally, you know, say players are going to evolve and get bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. But that doesn't mean just because you're uber athletic does not mean that you have the skill to play the game. So that's what makes the comment so horrible. It's like, there's some freak athletes right now, but there's always been freak athletes. There haven't been many freak athletes that have the skill to play the game, and that's what made Michael Jordan so insanely, you know what I'm saying, unstoppable or whatever. But to say that the players from back in the day that none of them had skill except for Michael Jordan was just
John Stockton didn't have no skill. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he had to have skill.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
You know
Tim Hardaway, one of the nastiest hands before Kyrie Irving, there was Tim Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like again, Akeem Olajuwon, like these guys didn't have any skill. Like that's crazy to me, bro. That he's like I felt bad. Like it was almost like, oh man, I like you too, man. And you just like how you gonna?
It's like when your son comes. It's like when your son comes.
It's like I'm just disappointed, right? Like it's one of those, man. I wait until we get home. I'm about to talk to you when we get home, bro.
Right. We got just a couple more topics I wanted to hit you on, man. So last week we were talking about Aaron Judge and this triple crown, but man, what about Shohei Ohtani? 40 and 40 already, and he could possibly get 50 and 50. Like, screw pitching. This guy as a hitter is just phenomenal, and he's doing. 40 and 40, nothing that's never happened this early in the season. I mean, this is incredible what Ohtani is doing. Yeah,
he's an amazing. I mean, and again, this is like exactly what we're talking about, the whole evolution of players. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not a small, he's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? He's like 6'3", something like that. So he's a big, massive dude. So for him to be stealing this many bases is insane. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna hit home runs, he's a power hitter. He always hits for a good average as well, so he's a complete hitter. So I mean, he's phenomenal, bro. He's like, we're lucky to be able to witness this. You know what I'm saying? Not just him, but like you mentioned, Aaron Judge and Watson. Like
they both could be triple crown winners. Like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's incredible to even say that there's a possibility of 2 triple crown winners in each league, one in each league.
Yeah.
But the 40-40 already. I mean, it was it was a spectacle when Jose Canseco did that back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Barry
And that was like,
Bonds
Barry Bonds. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? To think that he could actually get to 50 and 50. Now, I know people are saying, well, they just changed the rule about pitchers being able to throw over, and the bases are a little bit bigger, so it makes it a little bit easier to steal bases. Still, though,
He's taking
you know what I'm
advantage of it. Hey,
Right,
you know what I mean?
He's taking
Like, what
advantage
hit
of
on hit, you know what I'm saying?
right. Taking advantage of the rules and what's being allowed to be done. You know what I'm saying? Which is similar to, like, you know what I'm saying, what basketball players are allowed to do now compared to the way they were defended before. You know what I'm saying? Like, the rules open up the floor. So the rules are allowing for, you know, because they want guys to steal bases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, for a 6'3" dude, a big, thick dude, you know what I'm saying, stealing bases like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, props to him, man. It's a fun time to be able to witness this and watch him play. And then to throw on the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he can go out there and throw the ball 100 miles an hour and pitch, you know what I'm saying, pitch as well. It's insane to think of, man. It's incredible what we're witnessing, and so I hope people are enjoying what they're seeing.
Me too. Real quick, I got one last thing I got to dump out before we do our music and movie review. This Floyd Mayweather fight. Like, can Floyd stop? Can people stop chiming in trying to watch this shit? These stupid exhibition fights. Like, Floyd, you're retired. Go learn how to read a book. Like, we don't need this exhibition bullshit of you trying to just make more money. You've made a shit ton of money. The last back half of your career, you picked who you wanted to fight to make sure you stayed undefeated. Nobody, like, people were asking me if I was going to watch him and John Gotti for the third time. No, it's supposed to be an exhibition. In fact, at one point in time, in the middle of the round, they changed out. They moved the ref. And put a new ref in. Like,
oh, God,
stop with this nonsense. Stop it. Like, Mayweather, just go away. Like, enjoy the rest of your life and your money. Have the money team or whatever. But Jesus, like, we need to get rid of this stuff. I don't need to see exhibition boxing matches with Floyd Mayweather ever.
That's how low in the radar this was for me that I didn't even know about this shit.
Yeah,
you know,
it was low on the radar for me, and then yesterday twice. The fight happened last night, and two people asked me if I was going to watch it. My wife asked me if I was going to watch it. So, you going to watch the Mayweather fight? The fuck no, I don't care about fucking that shit. Like,
no, I mean, I didn't care much towards the back end of his career watching his real fights. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you mentioned, he handpicked the opponents that he wanted to make sure or whatever, and he was a defensive fighter, which props to him. He's probably the greatest defensive fighter ever.
Long time,
there wasn't much action. You know what I'm saying? No. Because he wasn't trying to get hit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to watch an exhibition where it's just, that's all it was. You know what I'm saying? He throws a couple punches, he runs, he hugs, he dodges. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. So, I'm good with an exhibition. Like, I'm not even into this whole Jake Paul, Mike Tyson thing. Like, Mike Tyson, like that was my favorite fighter ever. And, like you said, I'm already not much of a fan of Jake Paul. Props to him for building his brand and doing what he's doing. Make that money, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if he knocks out Mike Tyson, like that's not good. You know what I'm saying? That's not. Besides the fact that he's almost a senior citizen, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
I mean, here's the thing where I'm at with the Tyson thing. Like, will I watch it? Yeah, because it's nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
My fucking Tyson.
And I'm hoping that Tyson knocks his fucking head off. I ain't gonna front.
I don't think so, but will I watch it? Will I talk about it? But do I need to see it? Absolutely not. I have zero interest in, like, you know what I mean? Like, will I watch it? Yes. So I guess I have to say I have an interest, but, like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Right. It's not like I woke up and was like, man, I can't wait to see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Like,
right.
You know,
but at least that there's the threat of some knockouts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like this Mayweather thing is like, what do I want to watch an exhibition of you showing your defensive prowess?
And
I'm good.
The Tyson thing is a legit, like, professional. It's not an exhibition. It's a real fight. You know.
But you said, I mean, it's obviously a complete money grab. And it's not like Floyd ain't got hella money.
Who is paying $50 or $70 to watch that shit?
Bro, like I said, I never paid $50 for his real fights. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pay for some exhibition shit that, you know what I'm saying, that they're just doing all gimmicky stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if he's just trying to stay in the spotlight or in the game,
Yeah.
Like I think he'd be a great promoter or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just his charisma and shit like that. So why not go that route instead of this bullshit ass exhibition where, come on, nah, I have no desire. I had no knowledge of it at all. I didn't even know it was happening until you just mentioned it right now. I didn't even know about the shit.
Yeah. Let's it's fucking blew my. I didn't know about it until yesterday, so there's that. But I was like, all right, I got to add this to the list of shit we got to dump out. Let's get into it. The movie review. Johnny, you went and watched Alien Romulus. Spoiler alert, folks. Spoiler alert, in case Johnny. So if you might want to miss the next minute or so while Johnny gives us his movie review on Alien Romulus.
All right, so Alien Romulus, and I'm gonna try not to divulge like some really cool shit that they show, so I'm not gonna completely spoil it, but I am gonna tell you basically my review of it. So the majority of what happens, I'm gonna let you know of what's happening. But initially, it's basically it's the 9th installment, Alien Romulus, of the whole Alien franchise. It takes place 20 years after the original Alien movie. So there's Fede Alvarez who directed it. There's a lot of Easter eggs and callbacks to not only the original Alien but Aliens. He took some stuff from Alien Covenant and Prometheus, so he kind of incorporated all of Ridley Scott's stuff into this and James Cameron stuff into this. So it starts off with the main character Rain, the young girl. They're on this like colony, this mining colony planet. It's called Jackson Star. And it starts off with her. They don't get no sunlight. It's raining all the time, and they basically just working for Weyland Yutani, which is the company that creates the AI and all that shit. So it starts off with her there. She put in her work, like I said, in this mining company, and basically they're just working there their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? Her parents died working there on those mines. So basically it's them wanting to get the hell off this planet. So it starts off with her. She's got an android that's, she calls her brother, which is a malfunction older model, which is played by David Johnson. His name is Andy. It's the black kid in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So he's, she calls him her brother. Her dad found him, kind of reprogrammed him or whatever to look out for her. You know what I'm saying? So it's come to, she's going to like the company because she thought she put in all her time. Come to find out, they basically just they upped her credits to where she basically had to do another 5 years. So that basically lets you know, okay, these guys just want to get the hell up out of there. So she gets a call from her ex-boyfriend, Tyler, the other dude, to meet up with them or whatever. So they meet up with them, and that's where you meet the other characters in the movie. And they have a plan with, for her. They say, hey, they found out about the space station. So they know that it has cryopods on it. So the goal for them is to get to the space station, get to the cryopods, and then go to this other planet that's supposed to be all sunshine in this paradise planet, but it takes about 9 years to get there. So the goal of the movie is basically for them to get these cryopods and go to hypersleep and go to this planet or whatever. But they need her because her brother, who's the android, he'll have the authority and stuff like that to communicate with the space station to be able to get them in and out of where they need to go to get to their equipment. So that's why they need her and him or whatever. So they go up, say into outer space to the space station where it's the Remus and Romulus. There's two parts to the space station, and Remus and Romulus are the two, Greek, back in mythology that basically created Rome. There was the whole battle between the two brothers or whatever. So they get up to the space station and there's no sun on this planet. So there's like a big thick cloud of shit that they got to go through. So when they finally get to the top, it's the first time her seeing the sun, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's a whole, they want to get away from this planet type thing or whatever, but they're going to run into a bunch of shit. So they get to the space station. They go to the Remus part. There's a lot of good action there, and there's a lot of suspense because we know as fans what the hell they running into, but of course they don't have any idea what's going on there. So again, like I said, it Rain, the main character, Andy, the android, Tyler, who's her ex-boyfriend, who's the main one that set this up, his sister Kay. So it's a lot of sibling type stuff in this movie as well. This guy Bjorn, who doesn't like AIs because there was a mining accident and the AI chose to save 12 workers and shut off a door that wound up killing his mom and another worker. So the android chose saving 12 over 2. This guy, saying, so he's like making comments to him the whole movie or whatever. And then there's the Asian girl, the pilot, Navarro, who's there as well. So they go up into outer space. They get to they dock on the Remus, which is the first part of the space station. They make their way to the cryopods, and they realize that it only has like 3.5 years left of fuel. So they need to get to another part of the space station to get more fuel for these pods. So it starts off with just 3 characters going into it, and the rest of them staying on the ship. But now the other two more need to come on, which is Rain, the main girl, and then the pilot girl. The K one, the sister of the Tyler, you find out she's pregnant. She stays on the ship. So now it's 5 people on there. She's on the ship. So they go in there to help them. They find you can see a bunch of damage there. Like, again, we know there's big holes on the floor. So they go in there.
The aliens are on the ship, not on the island.
Not on the planet. No, it's all on the ship here. So
okay.
So they're trying to get to where they can get more fuel. They find a spot where it has more fuel, but when they try to disconnect the fuel, they don't realize that the fuel was it's essentially like nitrogen, for lack of a better word. It's cold. It's keeping the room cold.
Yeah.
So when they start to disconnect it, the room temperature starts going down, and then you see that all the face huggers, the little spider things that run around, like those start to kind of defrost because they're taking the coolant stuff off of them. So that's where you see the scene in the trailer where it's kind of like in the water. So that's them trying to take that out, releases the face hugger. So again, essentially it's them trying to get that energy, that fuel that they need for the cryopod so they can get up out of there. The face huggers are unleashed there, so they're trying to get the hell away from them or whatever. So it's a lot of tense action in the first half of the movie. That's really cool. They make their way out of there. The special effects, the cinematography, the aesthetics, like it's visually it looks awesome. If you go see this, if you're an Alien fan, you need to go see this movie anyway. But if you're just an action sci-fi horror fan, you'll enjoy it too, because while there's a lot of Easter eggs and connections to the other movies, you don't have to have seen the other movies to enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? So he did a good job of that. There was some stuff where there's a lot of like one-liners from previous movies that like he incorporated into this that didn't really need to be there.
Yeah, but they're paying homage to it. They're paying homage.
But he props to him for paying homage to some. Like some of it is kind of cringy a little bit or whatever, but so anyway, the Asian girl Navarro, she winds up getting the face hugger on her face. They wind up spraying some again like the nitrogen or whatever on the tail of the alien to get it off. The face hugger, they get it off, but it has already like kind of dropped the seed in her chest. That's where you see the commercial where she's kind of like showing the X-ray thing, and you can see something moving around in her chest or whatever. So she's infected. The Bjorn guy that doesn't like the AIs, like kind of got pissed off or whatever, and like took her because they get stuck in a different room, and the android knows that there's something wrong with her. So he's like, we shouldn't let her in because it's gonna, it could possibly kill everybody else. So the guy that doesn't like AIs gets pissed off and grabs her and the pregnant girl, and they just jump back on the ship and try to dip. But as they're trying to dip, the chest buster starts coming out. She accidentally kicks the handle and it winds up crashing into the other portion of the Romulus part of the space station. So now the main character, the android, and the Tyler dude have to get to them. So in the process of them going over there, they run into the different they brought back the android from the first one, which this is a big spoiler here, sorry. But the android from the first one, they brought him back, which it was cringy, bro, because homeboy has passed already.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like a damaged version of him, you know what I'm saying? So he was like kind of destroyed, so you could see like where they, it was all messed up, and they had problems obviously there. It was So it was a little cringy there, whatever. But he basically lets them know that they were experimenting on the black goo. And again, if you're Alien fans, you know the black goo was introduced in the prequels. You know what I'm saying? So they show where they were kind of experimenting on that, and that's where the whole shit went haywire or whatever. So they're making their way through to get to the other side. Meanwhile, that chest burster is growing already. That one that blew out of her chest or whatever. Some cool effects because we never really saw how they kind of grow to the size that they grow. Like we've seen like the skin that's been left behind, like snake skin and stuff like that. So you actually see that it cocoons itself to the wall, and it's very graphic. And it to be real, it looks like a straight up vagina. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm being real, and I mean I think it was purposely done like that, whatever. So I mean, and then the knucklehead Bjorn kid like goes up to it, and like he has like this like cow prod thing. So he like jams it in there to try to kill this thing, but then just stands there looking at it. So of course, you know what I'm saying, it shoots its tail out of the fucking hole of the cocoon and stabs him in the face. He falls down, and then it's just dripping acid on him, and it's like, bro, roll over. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so he winds up getting killed that way or whatever. So you see it like coming out of the thing, like it's crowning in the whole shit. So the visual effects of that is pretty cool, whatever. You actually see the alien like kind of unbending its fingers and shit like that. So it gets interesting there. It does a good job again, like that, of showing us stuff that we haven't seen and still having the Easter eggs for the old shit. So that was kind of cool. Like I said, they kind of went overboard a little bit. Like I said, with the AI that they brought back. Ash is the name of the original AI from the first movie. And again, the first movie Alien. But again, he's passed or whatever. And even though the director like got permission from the widow and the family, it just kind of feels a little cringy and honestly unnecessary because they could have used other androids, you know what I'm saying, or somebody like that to kind of play his role in this movie or whatever. But they move on from there. They're having to evade the face huggers to get to the other side. Meanwhile, the one that bursted out of the chest has already like started, kind of like cocooning stuff like that or whatever. But to kind of wrap this up, because I'm not trying to give a 20-minute breakdown of the movie, but you know what I'm saying, and I'll get better with this. You know what I'm saying, this is my first review, so I'll get better with this. I'm gonna do the Crow next week. But you know what I'm saying, it's plenty of action, plenty of suspense. It's good, especially the first half of the movie, the first whatever.
Out of 5 stars, what you rate it?
Out of 5 stars, I'm gonna give it a 4. Like I said, there was some really cool throwbacks. Like I would put it, and I enjoyed the prequels 1 and 2. The Covenant and Prometheus. I enjoyed those. I didn't, obviously Alien and Aliens are my 2 favorites. So I would probably put this like right after Alien, because I actually like Aliens, the second one, better. Like that's my first one, and then the original Alien, and then I would put this one there because it is suspenseful. It is, you know what I'm saying, intense or whatever like that. Like I said, the visual, whatever, they do a great job of that. But ultimately, it climaxes with, you know what I'm saying, they get to the pods or whatever. The Cade girl who originally stood on the ship or whatever that was pregnant, she winds up sticking herself with that black goo or whatever because they're told that's part of that android mentioned the fact that it had features in it that can help people heal themselves and stuff like that. So she thinks that it could help her because she had gotten hurt. So she sticks herself with that. They put her to cryo sleep. Like this is towards the end. They already killed. There's a badass action scene. I'm not gonna spoil that. As far as the main girl and Andy trying to get past a bunch of aliens or whatever. There's a really cool scene there. So I'm not gonna spoil that when you see it, where they gotta evade the blood and stuff like that. Like it's a really cool scene there. So you'll enjoy that. But anyway, so she's pregnant. She sticks herself with the goo. They put her to cryo sleep. And then you just hear her screaming. And when the girl goes to check on her, all of a sudden she looks like she's 9 months pregnant and about to gives birth to like an egg essentially or whatever, which we've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? And that egg, the girl grabs it, throws it to the side. She goes to try to kill the egg and sees that it's like, because it kind of starts to open up a little bit, you kind of see an actual human type face on this alien. So she pauses for a second. Meanwhile, the ash is dripping out, so it winds up falling to the bottom deck or whatever. So she needs to essentially go after this alien. And again, I'm going to stop it right here so that I don't spoil the last like 15, 20 minutes because it's crazy how that part ends. But it does leave it open for the possible of, you know, say a sequel to this if they wanted to put another installment here before the actual aliens. Because again, this is 20 years after the original, so it's right in between 1 and 2.
Okay. Any Sigourney Weaver or anything like that? She in in it? Sigourney Weaver.
No, Sigourney Weaver is not in this movie.
Okay.
Again, at this point right now, she's still in cryo sleep from the first movie. You know what I'm saying? Because if you remember the first movie, she, you know, when she shoots that alien out, she goes into cryo sleep, and it's 57 years before she gets discovered.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So this is like during that time. So while she's sleeping with her cat, this is what's going on in the world or whatever. The company is still being shady and trying to weaponize this organism. And stuff like that is going on or whatever. So they do. I mean, ultimately, it's fun. Like I said, if you're a fan of the Alien movies, you definitely want to watch this. If you can watch it in IMAX or Dolby, like the picture and just the effects and the score, the music and stuff like that is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real intense. Fetty does a really good job of, like, you know, the graphic. It's horror, but it's not like a bunch of gory, nasty horror. But at the same time, it is an alien flick, so there is some of that. But he brought in some cool new things that we've never seen before. Again, like the whole vagina cocoon, where it basically, you're saying, comes out of or whatever. And then that final alien is freaking insane, bro. The one that's got the little baby face when you see that, and then the next time you see it, it's crazy, this alien that you see at the end. So again, I'm not going to completely spoil that, but there is a hybrid alien at the end of the movie. It's cool as shit. It's scary as fuck. But yeah, if you're an Alien fan, you definitely want to check this out. If you're just a sci-fi horror action fan, you'll enjoy it. You don't need to have seen the other movies to watch this movie, but it will help with like certain Easter eggs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The nostalgia, like you mentioned before of it or whatever. But ultimately, I would give it 4 out of 5. Where there's some stuff that was kind of, like I said, that whole AI thing was kind of a little cringy because of the whole morality of it or whatever. There was some lines that it was like, you didn't really need to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, overall though, it was a good movie. It was definitely worth the watch. And like I said, I would put it, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I would put it like third of
review down, Johnny. You know what I mean?
I know. Like I said, I'll get better with next week's review of The Crow. Like this one was, you know, there was a lot in this one. You know what I'm saying? But you'll enjoy it. It's fun.
3.5 stars. You gave it 4 stars. You said 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Like I said, some stuff could have been better, but it's definitely worth the watch.
All right. So I'll do the music review. I'm not going to go as long as you.
My apologies. Like I said, that's my first review ever. I'll get better.
All right. Yeah. I was really just looking for like a 3-minute, 2-minute synopsis. Johnny's doing a whole fucking 20-hour to a whole fucking 2-hour podcast. I got the album review. I did. So it just really popped up on my playlist. It was 49 Winchester. Their new album's called Leaving This Holler. It's a pretty good album, top to bottom. It's a country album. Next week I'll do something different other than country, but a couple of songs that I really enjoyed. Leaving This Holler, Fast Asleep. Those were kind of my 2 favorites. Anchor's a really good one too. It's a little bit of just kind of what I'm into right now. That Red Dirt type of stuff. Guys, they're pretty good stuff. I'd probably give this album 3.5 stars out of 5. So
that's not bad at all.
Yeah. Not great, like not top to bottom. One of the best albums I've heard. Just a really good, like, soulful album. So I give it 3.5 stars. Like I said, my favorite song is probably Fast Asleep and Leaving This Holler. So,
nice. Yeah, that's a lot shorter than my shit.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's done.
Okay, apologies for the people that are half asleep now. For my movie review.
Let's get into this week's top 5 things we miss about school before we get up out of here. What's your number 5 thing? Because everybody's back to school. It seems like colleges are back. Most high schools are back around the United States. So, it could be from elementary all the way to college to high school, whatever you want, Johnny. Top 5 things that we miss about school. What's your number 5?
All right, my number 5, I almost put it a little higher, but ultimately when I thought about the other stuff, I pushed it. It went down to 5. But my number 5, especially in middle school, was the school lunch. I enjoyed school lunches. We had pizza every Friday, and yes, it was some cardboard type pizzas or whatever. Them shits were good. We had, I think, burgers every Wednesday, and I don't know what kind of meat they were serving or whatever, but that shit was good. Those burgers were good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with school lunch. We had I guess their take on hamburger helper back in that day or whatever, where it was basically macaroni but with ground beef in it or whatever, or some type of meat in it or whatever. But I got school lunches as my number 5. And of course in high school we were able to leave campus for school lunch. So yeah, school lunch in high school was great because you could leave that motherfucker and go have whatever you wanted. It's like that.
Yeah, we couldn't.
So lunch is 5.
Yeah. Okay. My number 5 is just like the weekend. The weekend's like hanging out with your friends, all the way from like elementary to like high school. I probably could have put that up higher, but there's something special like when you go into your buddy's house and you're just hanging out, like playing video games, like just chilling all weekend, or the parties on the weekend. So number 5 is just like the weekends in total, from like elementary, like mid junior high, really, right? Like that's when you're really like starting to hang out with your friends on the weekends, and like
that's on my list somewhere too.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
Just the weekend. Now, if I was like, "Hey, Johnny, you want to come over and have a sleepover and hang out?" What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Right.
Time in life, you go to your friend's house for a sleepover the last time, and you never know it's the last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true, man. That is true. Right. That's a good one. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask my mom. You ask my mom if you can stay the night, because if you ask, she's gonna say yes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just the weekends, you know what I mean? Really just the weekends in general. What's your number 4?
See that's essentially what my number 4 is.
Okay.
I have it here as the events of school, whether it be the dances, field trips, you know what I'm saying? Like I lump these all together, parties, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was my number 4, was basically similar to what you just said. The events that you did when you were in school is my number 4 thing. Yeah. So dances, trips, parties, and stuff like that. That was I miss that shit.
Field trips is number 4. Yeah. Like there's something cool about when you're a kid going on a field. It don't matter where you is, and then the older you get, like you're hoping, like you know what I mean. Like I saw my first titties on a school bus. You know what I mean?
That was also part of it. Was girls was part of it. Was part of number 4.
The whole day out of school, like you know what I mean. Like you never go to work and your boss be like, hey kids, hey guys, we're not working today. We're gonna go visit the state capitol. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, that's all happened.
Yeah. All right. Well, go. You know what I mean? Like, let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. I'm with you. The whole excitement behind it. You know, especially when you're younger or whatever, you get on the bus together, you're just shooting the shit with you're talking with your friends and stuff. You're all excited. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
You always hope you had the good. My parents were never going to be chaperones, but you always had a halfway cool chaperone. Like, you know what I mean? The one parent was like, hey, I'm just here just to hang out. I don't really, you know what I mean? What's your number 3?
My number 3 kind of goes into this a little bit, but you know, said it's more expanded. My number 3 is just socializing with your friends at school. You know what I'm saying? The camaraderie, you know what I'm saying, of being with your friends or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Having lunch together or meeting up before school started, you know what I'm saying, to shoot the shit, talk about what's going on or whatever girl you were going to holler at or what you were doing after practice that night.
Hacky sack every day before school, like just out there, just
that whole camaraderie.
Clumsy having ass trying to fucking kick my leg up. Still played that motherfucker.
Yeah, so that one was number 3, and it could have gone higher, honestly, but just that whole camaraderie, socializing with your friends and stuff like that. Like I missed that part of school.
My number 3 is really just it's kind of class, but PE and dodgeball. Like there's just something fucking fun about fucking everybody just murdering each other fucking with a dodgeball, taking dodgeballs to the dome. Or like when you catch it, you know, we always play like you catch it, your whole team comes back in and you get to be the hero and you catch it. Like, everybody's like, oh fuck yeah. You know, like there's something about like just dodgeball and PE, like, you know, right. Yeah.
Well, I mean that leads me right to my number 2.
Okay.
Which was sports. You know what I'm saying? I played everything in school. You know what I'm saying? I played football, baseball, basketball. I even, you know, played a week of lacrosse until I realized I did not want to be running around like that. You know what I'm saying? But no, yeah, playing sports. And again, that was part of the whole camaraderie, stuff like that. But the Friday night games and stuff like that, the away games was always my favorite, because when you just shut down the crowd, like there was no better feeling than to just a bunch of people cheering and all of a sudden it's just silence and stuff like that. Either in the baseball game because you get a big hit and you're just running around the bases, or to score a late touchdown to win the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, playing sports could have easily been number 1, but I got it at number 2. Was the biggest thing I missed from school.
Yeah, number 2 to me is recess. Like elementary is
nice.
You know, man, we just got to get out to recess. Like, you know what I mean? And it could be he was playing basketball, he was trying to holler at girls, like especially in junior high when you're starting to realize, like, oh, I like girls, or you know what I mean? You know, or even when you were a kid, like just getting on the swings, like, or you know what I mean? Just shit when your body could function right and didn't care. And like recess was like, man, you know, that 15-20 minutes of just recess was just the best time. You know what I mean? The best. My son, my 7-year-old Charlie, he comes in. That's what he talked. Like, we was out at recess, Dad. We was playing, you know, football. We was playing there. I'm like, man.
And like you mentioned, it's usually short. It's usually like only like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So like you look forward to that shit, and then it's like you got to try to get as much as possible out of those 20 minutes and shit before you got to go back to class. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Recess was my number 2.
Nice.
Just, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, like, cause you know, you got to kind of sit down all day. You can't really talk. And then recess, you could just wall out, you know? And what's your number 1 thing you miss about school?
My number 1 was the back to school shopping.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like getting all the new gear, getting the school supplies, especially when, you know, when you're a kid, it's more about the supplies and stuff like that. And the cool t-shirts and stuff like that. The Trapper Keeper when I was a kid. So that excitement of all the shopping that you did, you got all this new shit. You know what I'm saying? So as a kid, that was cool.
The only time of the year my parents bought me new shit was right before school started and like Christmas. After that, you just fuck.
That was it. That was it. And that's the shit. You knew, okay, I ain't getting nothing else until Christmas. So you know what I'm saying? So you try to pick out all the best stuff you can. As you get older, you know what I'm saying, you want to make sure you got a fresh cut like that right before school starts. You got the new pair of Jordans or whatever kicks you get. So the school shopping, the back to school shopping, was the main thing I missed, because it was an excitement. You were eager to go to class to see who was in your class and stuff like that, whatever. But getting all the new stuff, you know what I'm saying, whether it's be the school supplies, the clothes, the fresh cut or whatever right before school started, that's the stuff I missed. Because when you get older, you don't get into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now it's buying for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Or at least, especially in your case, like I'm past all that shit, but you're dealing with that shit now. Or you know what I'm saying? But that was always a really exciting time, was the back to school shopping. I missed that shit.
Yeah. Now as a parent, you hate it. You're like, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saving up for that shit.
My daughter had to have a specific fucking notebook. It was like, you know, college ruled 100 sheets. I went to 3 motherfucking stores. I still couldn't find. Finally, like the 4th store, I finally found that bitch. Like I was like, God damn, like this motherfucker, like you couldn't have the spiral rings, like you know what I mean? I'm like, God, who cares? It's some fucking paper, man. Like man, like I was just
and the shit is that when you're the kid getting the stuff, like you ain't stressing that type of shit. But when you're the parent and you're spending the money on that, and then it's like it's got to be these specific things that they need. And then in like a couple weeks, it's like all disorganized and just whatever. It's just like, bro, I'm just saying, like, I
lost it. Your kid
right.
lost,
I had to hunt that. I had to go to 4 stores to find that shit, and you just lost it. What the fuck you mean you lost it?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
What's your number one, bro?
My number one is sports. It is sports. Just there's something. There is something about, man, when you play sports with your friends. Again, it's like, I'm from a small town, so we all knew, like, ain't none of us probably going to college to play. Right. Ain't none of us ever gonna make it to the NBA or anything like that. You know what I mean? Right. Like that. We would be lucky if one of us went to like a small school, like a NAIA, type school, right? And played. Like maybe one of us out of the was gonna go play. So there is something like that was about like this. Hey, this is it, man. Like we gonna. You know what? And guess what? Right. We ain't gonna probably get too much better. Like, winning. We won a couple district championships in basketball. My senior year, we sucked. Like, we was getting killed by 50 every game. But it still's that camaraderie. It's still something about suiting up, and running out there with your homies, and then just go get crushed, and then you got to crush 20 beers after the game because
I was gonna say, especially in high school and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the after the game was always awesome. You know what I'm saying? The after party, like
the bus ride, even the bus ride to the games, like you know what I mean, like just being part of that. I remember. I remember my last game. I remember the last bus ride back from York. You know what I'm saying? Like we lost like right as the playoff started or whatever. Which we, you know what I'm saying? Like we got robbed, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like I remember that ride home. Like it was like we knew, damn, we ain't playing with. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not gonna be able to play anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it. So it was like, I'm with you. Like I said, that I had it at 2. It could have easily been number 1, but sports. I'm with you on that, man. Yeah. Definitely missed that, bro. It is number 1. That's the number 1 for me. But
I mean, that's well deserved.
Yeah. I mean, and everybody has their own. And I'm sure, like we're sports people. We played sports, but even like even in people who don't play sports, like whatever club you was in, you know what I mean. Like there is something about
band, whatever you did. Yeah, there's something about being part of a group. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and doing something that you really enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? That camaraderie, like you mentioned. Yeah, there's something. I mean, again, you know what I'm saying? It's our instinct to want to be part of a community. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just instilled in us. You know what I'm saying? So it's in our DNA.
That in high school or even college, like you know what I mean. Colleges have more stuff. You know what I mean? So more things to do and find your people that you enjoy hanging out with. So you don't get that as much as when you're an adult and you're a parent. So those are the things.
I mean, and you try to like, you know what I'm saying, like people playing in the softball leagues and shit like that. Like you try to hold on to that as long as you can, but you reach a point where it's like, is it worth possibly spending the night at the ER, having to miss work? You know what I'm saying, to go play? Yeah. Nah, I'm good. I'll just go watch, you know, saying a high school or college. You know, saying like I rather go watch, you know, saying kids play. Like I miss being at the park. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But high school sports was a lot of fun.
It is. Other than that, John, you got anything else you want to dump out before we get out of here?
No, I'm good, man. Just enjoying this show. Looking forward to next week. My review will be a little tighter for the Crow next week. I promise you that. And I'm sure we'll have a cool top 5.
Scene by scene there for a minute. Like,
well, I mean, I got caught up in it because I was excited about it. But again, like that was my first review, so I'll make it a little tighter. You know what I'm saying? And basically just give you the important shit you need to know, and then give you my ranking. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'll do. So again, if you're just waking up, the review's over. The review is over. It's been over. We just went over our top 5. You know what I'm saying? Rewind the tape. and check it out. But I'm having a lot of fun. This has been a blast. Looking forward to next week. Again, shout out to you for doing this. If you're new, hit the subscribe, smash that like, and turn on notifications. But no, looking forward to tomorrow night. The preseason is over. The Dolphin Chronicles, you can find it on the Kendall Sports Network. Me, Byron, and Alex. The Dolphin Chronicles every Monday night, 7:30. So we'll go over the preseason. Tuesday is cut day. So there's going to be a lot to talk about on Monday, not only on that show, but then we got the LTS show tomorrow night at 9:00. So definitely check that out. And then Thursday, another LTS show on Thursday where we go over our last division, which I believe is the NFC East, right?
Yeah.
On Thursday. Thursday we go over to NFC East and then be back here next Sunday morning to again. I'm gonna be reviewing The Crow for next Sunday. It'll be tighter.
Not scene by scene. Not scene by scene.
It'll just be a quick synopsis, like my man Nick said, of the movie and my thoughts on it or whatever. And we'll have another cool top 5 for next Sunday.
Yeah, my buddy Craig, who watches the show, he just said, "Hey, bro, I was going to text you and say Johnny's review way too damn long."
Bro, you should have threw it in the comments, Craig. You gotta let me know when I got a booger hanging out my nose, bro. Don't just let me walk around and shit.
Yeah. Real quick, tonight, please tune in to the Bodkins Show right here back on this channel, 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern. I had a great sit down with comedian Josh Prey. If you don't recognize his name, just Google him. You'll see his face. You'll be like, oh, I know who this guy is. Got 1 million followers on TikTok, Instagram. You've seen at least one of his videos where he's reviewing movies or ranting about something. Very funny interview. It was a great interview. I enjoyed it. Josh was awesome. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Check that out. Like Johnny said, we'll be both back on the LTS show tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. So, so see y'all. We'll see y'all next week for another weekly dump. I got to hit the outro.
Yep. Peace. Yeah, bye bye.